All right, starting a little shy of 9:35, but this is Dylan Lang. This is a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. The Comic Hall is my weekly show where I talk to you and show you all the new comic books that came out this week that I bought personally. These are not all the comic books that came out this week, but these are the ones that I collect. There's a whole bunch of other ones out every week that I don't get. So my recommendation is, if you like what you see when I show you here, my recommendation is to go out and check out your local comic book store. I suggest you do that anyway and check out your local comic book store. It's a great place to find new things to read, to take in a new atmosphere, get some cool stuff. And hey, you know what? This week is particularly a great week to start off with because Black Panther, the movie, the long-awaited Marvel movie, is finally out in movie theaters. I saw it this afternoon. Enjoyed it thoroughly. My review of it will be on my show, Dylan Knows, on Sunday with my co-host MJ Khan. Hopefully tech problems don't happen. So you'll hear my full review of that. My only thing I need to tell you is it's outstanding, and I think you will really, really like it. Everyone out there should really, really like it. It's a fantastic film. That being said, I think Marvel was missing kind of not that I'm a big Marvel fan anyway, but I think they're missing an opportunity where I don't think there was a lot of Black Panther stuff that came out this week. If I recall, there might have been maybe one or two things, maybe the Black Panther annual and maybe something else. But, you'd think you'd be doing more trades and more toys and stuff like that. And that goes for everything else also, because there's a lack of Black Panther merchandise out there now, which is a shame because I was at a 9:30 a.m. showing and the theater was packed. I mean, not just little packed. This is really packed. This is like one of the big theaters. So you'll hear all about that later, but you're here to hear about comics. So it's actually a surprisingly another big week this week. It's really odd. And I keep trying to cut. I've already cut back on a number of comics, but for whatever reason, more keep jumping in. Now there's more in here that I probably could cut out, and some are mini series that are almost over, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But off we go. First up, we have from DC is Dark Knights Rising, The Wild Hunt. This is I guess the proper term is penultimate issue of Metal. The final issue of Metal comes out next month. Now, the funny thing was, when the original schedule came out, Metal was supposed to end this week. Supposed to come out on Valentine's Day. The final issue of Metal was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day, but I think they threw this one in and to give Greg Capullo an extra month or so to get another issue out and to do another issue like this. So this one focuses more on the evil Batman, and also will lead directly into the final issue of Metal. So I recommend you would probably want to check this out. Now, Metal's been one of these really weirdly interesting books, and it's not one that's been extraordinarily exciting to me, but it's been interesting, and that's all I have to say about that. This one is got a gang of writers and artists. Scott Snyder, Grant Morrison, James Tynion IV, and Joshua Williamson are the writers. Howard Porter, Jorge Jimenez, Doug Mahnke, and Jaime Mendoza are the artists. So you get a little bit of everything. And I just lost my one viewer, so thanks for watching. Not. So we're getting different take on different things, and you get a little bit more Grant Morrison. He hasn't done DC for a while, so you can get a little bit of Raven love in there. I saw that. It's a nice looking book. One of the issues I have is when the Joker Dark Batman talks, you see this red. It's hard to read sometimes. This one actually is a little bit better than the last book I read, but it's pretty interesting. But this basically is a great lead up to the final issue of Metal, number 6, which is going to be out next week. So if you've been a fan of Metal, I still think you might find interesting. It's a really bizarre story. You might find interesting, but pick this up if you're interested in that. Also continuing from the pages of Metal, DC is creating all these new age of superheroes. We've already seen Damage and Silencer. This is the newest one, Sideways. Is written by Dan Didio. I'm sorry, Dan Didio. Who else is who else is doing it? And Justin Jordan. Yeah, Dan Didio, Justin Jordan are the writers, and Kenneth Rockefort is the artist. So it's an interesting character. It's your of the three that have been released so far, this one is your basic like Peter Parker-esque type of superhero, young kid, gets powers to walk between dimensions and stuff like that, and takes advantage of it because he's a high schooler. So and gets into trouble, obviously. So, but it should be interesting. Dan Didio is hit or miss sometimes for me, and Justin Jordan's pretty good, and Kenneth Rockford's okay. So we'll see. So far, Silencer has been the best of the two. So we'll see. We'll find out that Sideways #1 is out. So if you've gone to the comic book store for the first time in a while and looking for new stuff, you might want to pick up Sideways. It's #1. So you get it on the ground floor. Titans #20. The beginning of the end, the rumor is that after Metal, when the new Justice League stuff comes in, which we'll discuss on my show on Sunday also, the Titans are going to be obsolete since members of the Titans are on the Justice League, so we'll see. This is written by Dan Abnett with art by Paul Pelletier and Andre Hennessy, and came out on Valentine's Day, so there's a little bit more love involved, and it actually sort of does a retelling of the story where Arsenal hooks up with Jade. So you get sort of a retelling of that. And you also, at the same time, are getting Donna and Wally on a date now because they are dating now, apparently. So we'll see. You get a little romance in there. You get a little romance between... Oh, there we go. So all kinds of romance here. So check this out. Valentine's Day stuff for you. There you go. So there is that. Next up, we have Red Hood and the Outlaws #19, also a Valentine's Day era, because Valentine's Day was on Wednesday. These books came out on Wednesday, even though it is Black Panther week. It's Valentine's Day week as well. Red Hood and the Outlaws #19 finds what's her name again? Artemis on a date with Jason Todd. So it's written by Scott Lobdell with art by Marcio Takara. So, or Marcio, maybe it's Marcio. So it's a date night thing. Meanwhile, we are continuing to follow Smart Bizarro. So it's a fun little, the series has been really, really good. And I've been enjoying it. Next up, we have Batman Detective Comics #974, which a lot of people believe is going to be the beginning of a Batman Civil War, which is coming up because Batwoman gets ostracized in this issue for shooting and basically killing Clayface for the most part. James Dean IV is writer. Felipe Briones is the artist. So you can't really fault Batwoman all that much because she killed Clayface because he was going to destroy the city. So take one life to save millions, that type of thing. So we'll see what happens. And her story is not over yet, so we'll see what happens. And we'll see if this is even going to be acknowledged in the Batwoman series, new issue that comes out next week. Next up, we have Supergirl #18. This is the variant cover. It's a pretty interesting variant cover for that. It's written by Steve Orlando and Jody Hauser with art by Carmen Carnero. I'm beginning to think more and more that I think Steve Orlando is going to be dropping this book soon, and Jody Hauser is going to take over, and that's absolutely fine because Jody Hauser's doing a really good job. This is a book that, if you're a fan of the Supergirl TV show, you probably really, really enjoy this. So, if again, not only if you're going in because of Black Panther, if you're going in because of Supergirl, you might enjoy this as well, because they tend to be skewing more towards what the TV show is like. So, giving her those different roles and stuff like that, and disguises that you're used to seeing and stuff like that. See, and this romance in this one also. So, we'll see what happens. But regardless, if Jody Hauser takes over, it's in good hands. Flash number 40 is a big changing point for the Flash as well, and I think is going to lead into Flash Wars. This one is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. And I can't tell you what happens, but a major event happens in this book, which I think is going to lead into War of the Flashes. So we'll see what happens. So pretty good, series been doing pretty good at that end. So, and again, if you're a fan of the TV show The Flash, it might be a good one to pick up as well. Again, another reason why you should go into your local comic book store. If you have been a fan of the TV shows and the movies, go in and check out the stuff to see what it's based on. You might see there's a lot of similarities to it. Ragman is wrapping itself up really soon. Issue number 5 of a 6-issue miniseries out this week. Ragman has been extraordinarily good. Ray Fawkes writer. I forget who that artist is. Let me find it in here. Inaki Miranda is the artist on this, but it's, again, for those who've watched this show before and who know me, I have a Jones for the supernatural characters in the DC universe, and this one brings a couple of them together, Demon and Ragman and stuff like that. And it's a new version of Ragman, not quite the one that you're used to seeing, but still it's an interesting one. And I think Ragman's had an appearance in like Arrow or something like that. So again, it's a good reason to pick it up as well. Plus it's a 6-issue miniseries. So and it's been really good. I say this every time, but I'm still going to keep buying it because I love this character, and I'm just hoping it gets better. I haven't read any issues since issue 1 because I was so disappointed by issue 1, but I'm still going to get them on. I'm going to find out, and I just love this character, but I'm disappointed. Deadman number 4, the 6-issue miniseries. Again, you figured as soon as you heard that Neil Adams was going to be writing and drawing it, and it's Deadman, you're like, oh man, he did some of the best Deadman stories from the 70s, which he did. He really did. But the art has been not fantastic, and the story has been all over the place. And yeah, and again, as I said, you get a Jones. I have a Jones for the supernatural characters. There's Spectre, and you've got some other stuff as well. But no, I just don't know. I'm just really Ra's al Ghul's in this, and Demon. I'm just really, really disappointed in this series, and it could have been so much more because I think there is a market for the supernatural characters, and all we have right now are miniseries for them. But I'm not in charge of DC, doesn't matter. Hal Jordan, The Green Lantern Corps, number 38, written by Robert Venditti with art by Ethan Van Sciver, continuing the Zod storyline, which to me, Zod is really becoming sort of like the Joker. He's overplayed. You see him all the time. Every character does a story with him. It's getting really, really boring to me, actually. But this is Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps. And, I like Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps, and Robert Venditti's doing a pretty good job so far. But it's just, we'll see. I've never been a Hal Jordan fan, really. But, well, I mean, at one time, maybe it was before Kyle came in. But, well. Okay, I think Noel's up there. Justice League American 24. I almost didn't buy this because I am thinking about dropping the title. And also because of who's on this cover. This is Promethea. This is one of the characters that Alan Moore created for America's Best Comics from the 1990s, late 90s. Tom Strong is one of them. Promethea. Oh, God, I can't remember any of the other ones, but those are the two big ones. I love Tom Strong, and I love that Chris Sprouse was doing the artwork for it. And then Promethea was a fantastic series as well. Incredible. One of Alan Moore's actually better series as well. So these characters starting to make a comeback. Promethea in Justice League of America, and Tom Strong will be showing up in the new Challengers of the Unknown, or not Challengers of the Unknown, the 4 or whatever that new shoot, whatever is that one? I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of the new superhero teams that's going to be coming out of Metal. This is written by Steve Orlando with art by Neil Edwards, inks by Daniel Henriquez and Andy Owens. Okay, this is the last issue of the current story. So I guess issue 25 will be like a standalone, and then maybe I can finish it after issue 25 and drop it depending on things. But not that there's anything wrong with it. It's, it's a great series with different characters: Adam, Killer Frost, Lobo, and Black Canary, the Ray, all kinds of stuff. It's a great thing. And then we got Batman coming back. So we'll see. But you got some Terry Dodson covers. I wish he'd do the interiors, but we'll see. I'll keep my options open for Justice League of America. I still need to cut comics, and that's one that is up there. This one I am Action Comics 97. I am going to continue through 1000, and then I'll probably continue after that because Brian Michael Bendis is taking it over in the summer with 1001. So I'll just read the lead up to it. I mean, I like Dan Jurgens. I always have. I just found these most recent books have been bad, but this issue's got Brett Booth penciling and Norm Ratmud inking, which is great. So it's good to see that. And you get Booster. And again, you're dealing with Zod again, which is like, oh God, please. So bored of Zod. Oh, I get it. He's a badass. He's your Joker, blah, blah, blah. But I'm so sick of it. So, nice artwork and stuff like that. But just action just hasn't been. But it's going to be issue 1000. Let's see. 998 will be the end of February. 999 will be mid-March. So we're looking at 1000 probably at the end of March, maybe beginning of April. So maybe around Easter, actually. It makes a lot of sense to have it come out around Easter time. Would be an interesting thing. So that's it, I think, for the regular DC. The only other bizarre thing is this young animal just drives me absolutely bonkers. And this, a new subscriber, Jean Paul Ace Peter subscribed. Thank you, Jean Paul Ace Peter, for subscribing to me. Hope you enjoy your stuff. Enjoy my stuff. I think you will. This is continuing the Milk War storylines, a bunch of one-shots that are, is that you, my new subscriber? I just had your name and I forgot what it was, but thank you for subscribing if that is you. I'm almost done my DC comics. Sorry about that, but you've got a few more to go. We got Shay the Changing Woman and Wonder Woman crossover from the Milk War story. And very nice. Very nice. You get a different take on Wonder Woman from the young animal aspect. And then you get, Shay the Changing Girl is actually a girl. She becomes woman when they revamp young animal in a little bit. So, I mean, it's nice artwork. It's written by, I missed that. I was drawn by the art. Written by Cecil Castellucci, illustrated by Mirka Andolfo. Oh, Mirka. Okay, Mirka does the DC Bombshell stuff. So maybe that's why she hasn't been drawing it lately, because she was busy drawing this. Makes a lot of sense. So it looks good, and we'll see. We've got a couple more issues of these to go. We've got a Justice League Doom Patrol crossover, which ends the storyline, I think, and Mother Panic and Batman, and Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye with Swamp Thing, which should be interesting as well. The new, as I mentioned to you, the new young animal is Shay the Changing Woman #1, written by Cecil Castellucci, who wrote this one, with art by Marley Zarcone. Eternity Girl #1, Magdalene Visaggio, art and cover by Sunny Liu. Cave Carson has an Interstellar Eye, written by John Rivera, art and cover by Michael A. Von Oeming. I'll get that because I like Michael A. Von Oeming stuff. Mother Panic, Gotham AD #1. Jody Hauser's been writing Mother Panic for a while. Now we got it back, and art by Ibrahim Mustafa. That's a shame because I kind of like Tommy Lee Edwards' artwork on it, but we'll see what happens. This is all happening in May, or not May, March. So after this series is over, the new series of Young Animal comes out, and Doom Patrol still isn't in that yet, but it might be coming back. That's it for DC. I said not a lot of Marvel, and none of which have Black Panther in it. As I said, I think Marvel dropped the ball a little bit. I think there was like 1 or 2 Black Panther books that came out this week. I would have like flooded the market with it, because I think you're going to get a lot of new people coming into your local comic book store, which is good, because as I said, when the movie theater was packed that I was in, and it was tons of people in there. And if they like the Black Panther, go to your local comic book store, because it's got a Black Panther's a fantastic series right now, and my store has a wonderful display of just Black Panther stuff, trades, glasses, T-shirts, toys, all kinds of stuff. I bought the Reginald Hudlin Volume 1 and 2. Volume 3 just came out last week. I might pick it up this weekend because they got their sale going on, and I'm going to see if they have the Christopher Priest stuff as well. So I'm getting my Black Panther on. But I do have Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 42, written by Dan Slott, with art by Corey Smith, inks by Terry Pallett. So it looks like the Enforcers are the main bad guy in this one, and it's Betty. It's going to focus on Betty Brant Leeds, which I don't think we've seen in the comics in a while. And this is all leading up to Dan Slott leaving Amazing Spider-Man after issue 801. Annuals are fascinating because sometimes the stories have far-reaching consequences into the regular series. Sometimes it's just, hey, I had this idea and I'm just going to throw it out there and it's not going to fit with my regular stuff. We also have a backup. Who wrote the backup? Let's see if I can find out who wrote and drew the backup. It doesn't say here. Yeah, it doesn't say who, but there is a backup to this as well. Here we go. David Hine, Marcus Toe. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 42. Again, for those who don't know, Amazing Spider-Man was the first comic that got me into comic books. My dad gave me his collection way back in the early 80s, and it's gone from that point on. I still have my dad's collection around here somewhere. It might be in those boxes right there, actually. I just spiraled from there. Renew Your Vows number 16. I enjoy this series because I like reading stories about Peter Parker being married to Mary Jane and then having a daughter and how they're surviving that. And they all have powers. And again, it's Jody Houser. And Nathan Stockman's doing the artwork on this one. So it's the beginning of a new story arc. But Renew Your Vows takes place in like a separate universe where Peter and MJ are married and have an older daughter. And this one gets really interesting, where Peter Parker has gotten a job at the same high school that his daughter goes to. So yeah, so we're not gonna talk about that. So obviously you can tell what's gonna come that way, but Jody Houser's writing it, so of course it's gonna be great. We also have the Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and The Human Torch, written by Chip Zdarsky, with, as I expected, art by Valerio Schiti. Now, there's nothing wrong with Valerio Schiti's artwork. It looks really nice, but the main reason why I wanted to buy this book is because, not just because of Zdarsky, but because Jim Cheung is doing the artwork. But Jim Cheung, much like an Ivan Reyes or Ryan Sook, can only do like 1 or 2 issues of a series, and they got to take like a break for like 10 issues and then come back for 1 or 2 more issues. They can't work on a weekly schedule, and that's just, I wish that wouldn't be the case. I'd like to see a regular series with Jim Cheung artwork or Ryan Sook artwork or Ivan Reyes artwork, but it's not going to happen. So Marvel 2-in-1 is leading into the creation of the new Fantastic Four. I'm almost betting on it, and we'll see what happens with that. I got this one mainly for my daughter, and I probably should read, because I got all the trades for her, so she has them, or I can get them from the library, actually. I've got her the hardcover of the first 2 trades, and I've got her all the most recent issues. Maybe I should read. My wife has read them. She likes it also. So I started buying Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number 29. It's my daughter's favorite character, so why not? I'm a good dad, right? Get my kids involved in comics early. Written by the same usual people, written and drawn by the same usual people, Ryan North and Erica Henderson. I think they've drawn every issue. I don't think anyone else has worked on the book, and that's what makes it so successful. My wife and daughter absolutely love this book, and they will be very excited. They have had to wait till I did my show before I was going to let them look at it. So I'll be able to let them look at this, and they'll be able to read it, and they'll be extraordinarily happy. So People Squirrel Girl is a fun book. So there we go. Finally, we're in the Star Wars area of Marvel. Thrawn #1, which is a new, I think it's a miniseries. I don't think it's a regular series. Written by Jody Hauser. Wow, Jody's all over the place. Thrawn is one of those characters that was in the novels that basically happened when after Return of the Jedi ended and before the prequels, to fill the Star Wars gap. Lots of writers wrote novels. Timothy Zahn, particularly, I think he's the one who created Thrawn, actually. And he wrote a bunch of these books, and he created this character Thrawn, and it became a fan favorite character. And then when Disney bought Star Wars, they wiped out all the extended universe books and said, nope, those aren't canon anymore. Canon is what we tell you it is, which meant they wiped Thrawn out. But because he's a fan favorite, they decide, hey, we'll bring him into the proper Star Wars group. So they were able to get it through the proper channels. I think they've got some of the novels that are out now, which are part of canon, featuring him, and one's written by Timothy Zahn, I think, and now they got the comic written by Jody Hauser. So Jody Hauser show this week with art by Luke Ross. So I don't know if this is a regular series. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. But if you don't know who Thrawn is, I think this is a good introduction to the character. And if you like this, you may as well get the novel as well that Timothy Zahn wrote. It's on my Amazon wish list. So if you want to buy me a present, just go to my Amazon wish list and buy it for me and send it to my house. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so Thrawn #1. So we'll see. But Jody Hauser's the writer on it. So wow, Jody Hauser's all over the place, isn't she? Darth Vader #11. This is the second Darth Vader series, and the amazing thing is it seems to bring out the best in the artists, because Giuseppe Camuncoli is the artist of this one. He did a bunch of Spider-Man stuff as well, and Danielle Orlandini's the inker, and the art was, okay, it's passable, but his run on Darth Vader, because he's pretty much done every issue, has been outstanding. It's wonderful. And the same thing was with, God, I can't remember who did the original series. Salvador LaRocca, I think, did that. And his work has always been good, but he just notched it up to the next level, and they're doing it here. This is basically Darth Vader year one for the most part. The first issue took place literally seconds after he came up and went, no, at the end of the Revenge of the Sith. So this is him getting a feel for himself and becoming a legend, whereas the previous Darth Vader series had him right before it was after Star Wars and before Empire, after that, where he'd been already embedded into the universe and now was a badass and just continuing his ventures there. It's written by Charles Soule. Yeah, I showed you some of the artwork. So yeah, so the Marvel does a really good Star Wars series, so good on them. So that's it for Marvel. I've got a bunch of independents, and then off we go into that wonderful good night. This first issue is Kick-Ass is back, Kick-Ass #1. This is I guess you want to say a reboot or a light. It's not a reimagining. It's like a reboot of Kick-Ass. It takes place in the same universe as the original Kick-Ass, but it's a different person, and this time it's female. And what's interesting about this is I was never a fan of the original Kick-Ass series. I don't know what it was. Mark Millar at the time rubbed me the wrong way for whatever reason. I don't know. And Kick-Ass just seemed like a highly violent and very, I can't think of the proper term, just sort of a downer series. And so I didn't pick it up. and then the movies came out and they were pretty successful. And then Mark Millar did a whole bunch of other stuff, and they were, to me, they were just sort of like, they were okay. And then as he's gotten older, he's done the last few miniseries that he's done. I've really enjoyed them. So I decided to give Mark Millar another chance. I figured I'd pick up Kick-Ass #1, and to get myself reacclimated to the character, I went back and reread the descriptions of it from Wikipedia of the Kick-Ass books, and I think I'm going to go and buy the trades. Now, what's interesting about that is this week, and this is where with Marvel they should have done more Black Panther stuff. But Image, who is now the one who is doing Kick-Ass, because remember, Kick-Ass was originally a part of Marvel, one of their spin-off things, but they've moved to Image now. Well, Millar he's moved to Image. Image has re-released all the Kick-Ass miniseries. There's 4 of them. There's the original Kick-Ass miniseries. There's the Hit Girl miniseries. There's Kick-Ass 2 and Kick-Ass 3. They've re-released all 4 trades in a new trade dress so that they're all the same. And it's Kick-Ass, the David Lewinsky years. And each one has the same distinct sort of cover on it and same spine stuff. So it's one of the things that comic companies do. When they re-release stuff, they try to make things uniform as they were. So probably when they make this one in trade format, they're going to keep with that and make it the whatever this character's name is. I haven't read it yet. Her years. But John Romita Jr. is back drawing this, and Mark Millar is the writer as usual. And as typical, it's violent, and right now it doesn't look quite as gory as the original one was, and it looks like the new Kick-Ass is a former Marine or whatever who was over in a war zone and might have some PTSD, and that's why she's becoming Kick-Ass. But it's good to have a new Kick-Ass, and I think what I'm going to do is since I didn't really get into Kick-Ass before, and look, Hit Girl's coming out next week, so a new Hit Girl miniseries coming out this week. I might have to check that out also because Mark Millar's writing that also. Here's what I was talking about. Here are the new trade dresses right up here at the top. So all 4 of these came out this week. So I think I might go, and I think I'm going to buy them. Maybe not all of them at one time, but I think I'll buy at least 1 or 2 of them maybe this week. Also, this is Millar's new comic book, Magic Order, which is interesting to discuss because this is the first in his Netflix series. Because now he signed a deal with Netflix to do, you'd think, adaptations of his books onto TV shows and movies for Netflix. He's apparently also going to be releasing comic books through Netflix. And the Magic Order is the first one with Oliver Coipel as the artwork. And this looks extraordinary, so I can't wait to see this. I'm going to pick this up when it comes out. It doesn't give us a date, just says coming soon. So we will see. Finally, not finally, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost like 10 more books to do. But finally, we have issue #5 of Skyborn. Let's talk about Skyborn. 2 years ago, I went to the Baltimore Comic-Con because I'm in the Baltimore area, Baltimore Comic-Con. And one of the specials they were doing was they were giving out a special edition first #1 of Skyborn. It was coming out a week before Skyborn #1 was going to be released by Boom Studios. So Baltimore Comic-Con got this special cover and got it released the week before the actual book came out. So I bought it. It was like $10, but still I bought it. It's local, and I got it. I read the book because it's by a local guy, Frank Cho. He wrote and he drew it. But as I mentioned about Ryan Sook and Jim Chung and stuff like that, Frank Cho takes forever to do his books as well. So you might get a couple of issues out of him if you put him on a regular series, but then he's going to have to stop for a little while, and then he'll come back and do it. And plus, he doesn't stay on books that long, which I don't know if that's just a personality problem or just because of the work, because he takes forever to do it. So I said this was a 5-issue miniseries. 2 years ago, issue #1 came out. 2 years ago, because I didn't go to Baltimore Comic-Con last year. I went the year before that to get issue #1 of Skyborn. So Skyborn #5 is finally out this week. So God bless Boom Studios for sticking with it. I mean, Frank Cho is a very talented artist. Again, draws the sexy ladies, and it's a pretty good writer as well. But so the new issue, the final issue of Skyborn is finally out. So you're going to be able to, you know, do that. So it's got everything you need. It's got sexy ladies, dragon creatures, blood, Cthulhu creatures, all kinds of crazy stuff. So gotta love it. So, and it has a kind of a downer ending, but that's okay. But Skyborn number 5 is finally out, finally done. So there you go. Ninja K number 4. It's not Ninjak anymore. It's Ninja K number 4 from Valiant. It's written by Christos Gage with art by Juan Jose Rip. It's now Ninjak was actually a member of a ninja group, and the reason why Ninjak was such a weird name was because it's actually Ninja K. So he's the K, so that would make him A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, the 11th. So now we're getting to see all the other ninjas before him or after him or whatever, and there's all this big like ninja war coming up and stuff like that. So I haven't been following Valiant as much as I should, but I've always liked Ninjak, particularly when Joe Quesada was doing it all those years ago. And it's always it's always a very interesting character as well. So I'll probably keep up with this for a little while. But the other really thing I'm really excited about is coming in March. I also love Shadow Man, and Shadow Man will be coming out in March. A brand new Shadow Man written by Andy Diggle with art by Steven Segovia. So I'm excited for that. So I'm going to keep up with Ninjak, and I'll keep up with Shadow Man, obviously, and that might be the only ones I do from Valiant. A while back, I was telling you my love for Hack Slash and how I hadn't really gotten into any new hack slashes in a while. When the new Image hack slash miniseries came out, this one had already come out also, and I didn't buy the first couple issues because I didn't really think much about it. But then when this new issue of the new miniseries came out in Image, I was like, I better pick this up, and I was able to get the first issue of this from my comic store because it hadn't gone to the back issue bin yet. So this is the final issue of the Hack Slash versus Vampirella miniseries. Written by Sean Aldridge with art by Rafa Labasco. And Hack Slash has always been a really interesting character, and Vampirella is Vampirella. I mean, sexy chick in revealing costume. This is the old Vampirella. The new Vampirella that Dynamite does now is much different than this one. But, this is the one that fits with the Hack Slash world. And so... I'm glad I've gotten back into Hack Slash. That's one I need to probably start looking up for the trades for as well to get caught up on that. And plus, I love this cover. I mean, it looks like anime-ish, but I think this would be, if we get the artist for this cover to do the Hack Slash miniseries, that'd be kind of cool. Speaking of Dynamite, they've been doing a really good job with their female characters, particularly. This is Barbarella, number 3, written by Mike Carey with art by Keenan Yar. This does have nudity in it. I don't think there's nudity right there, so we'll skip that. And so it's a sci-fi series with a hot chick in it. So you gotta love that and crazy stuff. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep up with this, but it's still a hot chick. And, I'm still a man also. I'm happily married, but it's still nice to look at hot chicks. Yeah. Sheena number 6, also from Dynamite. This is Marguerite Bennett, who I absolutely adore, is the writer, along with Christina Trujillo, with art by Maria Senapo. So you got 3 women working on it. And it's sexy and fun and stuff like that. And this might be something where, you get Frank Cho to do a fill-in or something like that, because he would draw this kind of stuff in his sleep, because that's what he loves to do. So Deja Thors came out last week. Red Sonja is another one that's been showing up pretty good there regularly as well. Speaking of Marguerite Bennett, her gem of a series, Animosity, it's spin-off Animosity Evolution. Newest issue is out this week, issue number 4. For those who don't know about Animosity, Animosity is imagine a world where animals, one day, all of them start to talk. And what happens afterwards? and so they take over the world, and now it's a war for supremacy. This is the spin-off of Animosity. It's written by Marguerite Bennett with art by Eric Gapster. And I'm sorry, my viewer, if you were offended by my sex talk, but it's still one of the main reasons why I bought the books, to be honest. But they look pretty good though. This one, however, just is a great story. Marguerite's doing a great job, and just the animals talking and like regular humans and doing their own thing, and it's quite cool. So you have Animosity Evolution and regular Animosity as well. Robotech number 7, which is this is more of a reimagining of Robotech. Now, it's basically been following the same pattern as the TV series, but it's spinning it off and making their own little stories here and there. It's written by Brian Wood and Simon Furman with art by Marco Turney. So it's basically following the same plot for the most part. A few changes here and there. This one covers the Min May Sweet 16 birthday party. The Sweet 16 birthday episode. So you have that. And this is the debut of her singing. It's the first appearance of Max. Oh, and Hunk. Not Hunk. That's that is that's Voltron. Max and I forget who. Ben. That's right. Max and Ben. Those are the guys that Rick took over and became their boss. So we do that. And so we'll see what happens. As I said, it's a reimagining of it. It's not quite exactly the Robotech you remember, but it's following the same general story. So that alone is the reason why it's interesting to look at. All right, 2 more to go. Judas number 3 by Jeff Loveness and Jacob Rebelka. This week also was the beginning of Lent. And Judas plays a big part in the end of Lent, which is Good Friday and Easter and stuff like that. Judas is the one who betrayed Jesus in the Catholic religion and turned him over to the Romans, who tortured him and crucified him. And he died on the cross, and he was raised 3 days, and that's what Easter is. And that's what the whole basis of the Roman Catholic religion is. This is a different take on Judas, because I've always been fascinated by different takes on Judas, because there have been a few different takes on Judas. My favorite is still from Jesus Christ Superstar, the musical, where Judas is basically the main character. Now, it's called Jesus Christ Superstar, but Judas is basically the main character. And basically what they are saying, and to me this makes a hell of a lot of sense, was that Judas was chosen to be the betrayer. And he had to be the betrayer, or else Jesus wouldn't be able to die for our sins and wouldn't rise again and show his divinity, and the Catholic religion wouldn't have sustained. So he's kind of the real hero. That's one interpretation of it, obviously. There's also an interpretation that there is a book of the Bible for the New Testament called the Book of Judas, which has not been found. There's been rumored that it's out there. Same as that there's a rumor that there's a book about Mary Magdalene, and that's from the Bible as well. So who knows? It's not in the present day Bible, so it doesn't matter. But whenever you bring up a Judas thing, particularly during this time of Lent, where Judas plays such a big part in that, it's interesting. And religious comics aren't always interesting, but they're interesting, but not, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I got this from Boom Studios. It's a different, as again, this proves and goes to show you that comics can be so much more than just superheroes. So you've got, different, this is a religious comic, which has a different take on Judas and Jesus's crucifixion. So interesting. finally, this one's for my wife because she's a huge Dark Crystal fan, is Power of the Dark Crystal number 11 of 12. So we only have one more issue left, and then we won't be getting this anymore. It's written by Simon Spurrier and Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Kelly and Nicole Matthews. So if you like the Dark Crystal, this is be a good series for you. It continues one of the stories of the Dark Crystal and prepares you for the Netflix series that's coming out, I guess, later this year, I suppose. I don't know. I haven't heard much about it since then. But that's it. That's your comic call for this week. As I said, a lot of different things as you saw. It's not just superheroes. There's a whole lot of different things out there at comic book stores. And again, this is just a brief touching of them. And again, also, there's probably some Black Panther stuff out there too. So if you went and saw Black Panther this weekend or are going to go see it this weekend and want to learn more about Black Panther, go to your local comic store. That's the best place to start. They might have T-shirts. They might have toys. They might, it might be the only place you can get any Black Panther merchandise. So if you want to know where your local comic book store is, go to your search engine and type in Comic Shop Locator Service, or CSLS. When it pops up, you click on it and go to their website. You'll see an area on the right-hand side where you put your zip code. And when you put your zip code and hit enter, it'll list all the comic books within comic book stores within about a 20-mile radius of your house. So you'll see at least 5 or 6 different ones that you could go to depending on how close it is to your house or how far away. And if you go one that's closest and you don't like it, go to another one nearby. Or if you like the one you went to, just keep an eye on the other ones in case you need to go to another one. I know of. There's a comic book store in Hunt Valley. There's a comic book store down in Annapolis. There's one out in Parkville, I think. There's one in Towson somewhere, I think. And there's some other ones as well. But they're out there. And they'll have all kinds of great stuff for you to look at. So comic books are not just superheroes. Go into your local comic book store, check it out, see what they got. Mine has everything in it. It's manga, action figures, Funko Pops, T-shirts, glassware, trades, back issues, regular comics, toys, cards, baseball cards, football cards, sports cards, whatever you want to do, all kinds of stuff. So check out your local comic book store. You might find something you like if it's one of those things I just showed you, or you might find something that is out this week that I didn't buy. Or again, if you're a Black Panther fan and want to learn more about Black Panther, go to a comic store this weekend. That's probably the best place to go to. You see Black Panther, you're like, that's really cool. I want to learn more about it. Go to a comic book store. Best place to start. Pick up some trades. Who knows? Maybe your stores might be giving away some free stuff, or they might be selling trades at a discounted price. Who knows? So I apologize to the 2 viewers who just joined me, but the show is now over. You missed it by that much. So pick it up on the flip side when I upload it to my social media page at Holodill or at Dylan Proco. You'll see them there, and also my Facebook page. So join me on Sunday, probably around 12:30, where MJ Khan and I, tech problems notwithstanding, hopefully there won't be any. If there are no tech problems, 12:30 on Sunday, you'll see our review of Black Panther, spoiler all over the place, as well as discussions of Brian Michael Bendis' move to Marvel, and not Marvel, DC, excuse me, and any other upcoming interesting comic book stories that I discover over this weekend. Be careful out there, particularly those on the East Coast. It's been nice couple days, 60, 70-degree weather. We got snow in the forecast tomorrow, Saturday. So if it does snow tomorrow, go out to your local comic book store. So start till the afternoon. Go to your local comic book store, or go see Black Panther early in the morning. Go to your local comic book store, pick up some Black Panther trades, comics, action figures, whatever. Come back to your house and just sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, take care. Have fun, and I'll see you on Sunday for Dylan Knows Black Panther Party. It's my Black Panther Party with MJ Khan.